Pregnant, I found my fiancé cheating with my sister. Tomorrow, I expose their disgusting secret to everyone we know at our party. Hey Reddit. I never thought I would be posting here, especially not on our cheating stories or our relationship advice. But my life has imploded in a way I could never have imagined. And honestly, I need to get this out before I completely lose my mind. Maybe some of you have been through something similar, or maybe you can just offer some perspective because right now, everything feels unreal. Let me give you the basics. I am Sarah, I am 29 years old, and until a few days ago, I thought I was the luckiest woman alive. My fiancé, Liam, is 32. We have been together for 5 wonderful years, living together for the last 3. He is charming, successful, funny, the man I dreamed of marrying since I was a little girl. We met through mutual friends after college, and things just clicked instantly. Our relationship progressed naturally, full of laughter, adventures, supporting each other through thick and thin. Or so I thought. About 6 months ago, Liam proposed. It was incredibly romantic, a surprise trip to a place we both loved, down on one knee, the whole fairytale scenario. I was ecstatic, obviously. We started planning the wedding, aiming for next spring. Then, about 3 months ago, we found out I was pregnant. It was unplanned, but so incredibly wanted. We were both over the moon. A baby, a wedding. It felt like everything was falling perfectly into place. Liam seemed thrilled, constantly talking about names, decorating a nursery, rubbing my slowly growing belly. He attended every doctor's appointment, listened intently to the heartbeat, and reassured me whenever pregnancy anxieties crept in. He seemed like the perfect, doting partner and father-to-be. Now let me introduce the other key player in this nightmare, my sister Isabella. She is 27, my only sibling. Growing up, we were inseparable. We shared everything: secrets, clothes, dreams. Even as adults, we remained incredibly close. She was supposed to be my maid of honor. She was thrilled about the engagement, even more thrilled about the baby, constantly offering help, planning my baby shower, gushing about becoming an aunt. She and Liam always got along well, like good friends, bantering and joking. I always thought it was sweet, a sign of how well he fit into my family. Looking back, maybe I was just incredibly naive. Maybe the signs were there, flashing like neon warnings, and I just chose to ignore them because I wanted the perfect picture so badly. Our families were close too. Lots of Sunday dinners, holidays spent together. Liam's parents adored me, and my parents treated Liam like the son they never had. Isabella was always there, part of the happy family unit. She dated sporadically but never had a serious, long-term relationship like mine. Sometimes I felt a twinge of guilt for having found my happily ever after while she was still searching, but she always seemed genuinely happy for me. Or maybe that was just an act too. God, the questions are swirling in my head constantly now. How long has this been going on? Was any of it real? We decided to throw an official engagement party. Not a huge, lavish affair, but a nice gathering for our closest friends and family at a lovely local venue we booked. It was scheduled for this upcoming Saturday, just a few days from now. Isabella was heavily involved in the planning, helping me pick out decorations, food, even my dress. She seemed so enthusiastic, so supportive. She and Liam would sometimes coordinate on surprise elements for me, or so they said. I thought it was them teaming up to make things special for me. How stupid could I have been? The discovery happened last Tuesday. It was a completely ordinary day, or so it started. I had a routine prenatal checkup in the morning. Everything was perfect with the baby, healthy heartbeat, growing right on schedule. I was feeling that pregnancy glow everyone talks about, full of excitement and anticipation. Liam was supposed to be at work. He has a demanding job in finance that often requires long hours, sometimes even working from home unexpectedly or going in on odd days. I had taken the afternoon off after my appointment, planning to relax, maybe do some online shopping for baby things. I got home around 2 p.m. The house was quiet. Liam's car wasn't in the driveway, which was normal. I dropped my purse on the entryway table, kicked off my shoes, and headed towards the kitchen for a snack. As I passed the hallway leading to our bedroom, I heard something. A noise, a muffled sound like a faint giggle or gasp. My heart did a weird little jump. Was Liam home sick? Did he come back early? But why hadn't he texted? Curiosity piqued, I crept down the hallway. Our bedroom door was slightly ajar. That was strange. We usually keep it closed. As I got closer, I heard it again, clearer this time. Whispering and then another sound, a soft moan that made the blood freeze in my veins. It wasn't a sound of pain. It was intimate. My mind started racing, trying to make sense of it, trying to find an innocent explanation. Maybe the television was on. Maybe he was on a phone call. My hand trembled as I reached for the door handle. I pushed it open slowly, silently. And then I saw them, Liam, my fiancé, the man I loved, the father of my unborn child. He was in our bed. And he wasn't alone. Tangled up with him, her blonde hair fanned out on my pillow, the pillow I slept on every night, was Isabella, my sister, my maid of honor, my best friend since birth. I think I stopped breathing. The world tilted, sound rushing in my ears like static. They hadn't heard me. They were too engrossed in each other, in my bed, in the home Liam and I had built together, in the room where we dreamed of bringing our baby home. The air left my lungs in a strangled gasp. That finally got their attention. Their heads snapped towards the door. Liam's eyes went wide with shock, then panic. Isabella shrieked, scrambling to cover herself with the sheets, our sheets. The look on her face wasn't just shock. It was pure, unadulterated terror mixed with something else, shame. Maybe, but mostly terror at being caught. I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. I just stood there, staring, my hand still on the doorknob, my other hand instinctively going to my pregnant belly. The betrayal was a physical blow, knocking the wind out of me, crushing my chest. It wasn't just Liam cheating. It was Liam cheating with Isabella, my sister. The one person in the world besides my parents who I thought would always have my back, who I trusted implicitly. The pain was searing, blinding. It felt like my entire world, my past, present, and future, had just been incinerated in that single, horrifying moment. Liam started stammering. "Sarah, it's not what it looks like, let me explain." Explain? How could he possibly explain this? Isabella just stared at me, tears welling up in her eyes, pulling the sheet tighter around her, looking utterly pathetic. But I couldn't find an ounce of pity in my heart. All I felt was white-hot rage consuming the shock and the unbearable pain. I didn't scream. I didn't cry, not then. I felt strangely calm, a terrifyingly cold calm washing over me. I looked from Liam's panicked face to Isabella's tear-stained one. I saw the betrayal reflected in both their eyes. The lies, the deceit. How long had they been laughing behind my back? How many family dinners had they sat through, playing their parts? How many times had Isabella hugged me, listened to my hopes about the baby, while sleeping with my fiancé? I finally found my voice, though it sounded distant, hollow. "Get out," I said, my voice barely a whisper but laced with ice. "Both of you, get out of my house, now." Liam tried to get out of bed, reaching for his clothes scattered on the floor, still pleading, "Sarah, please, just listen." Isabella was fumbling with her own clothes, sobbing incoherently. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to look at them. I turned my back, walked out of the bedroom, and stood in the living room, shaking uncontrollably. The adrenaline was fading, replaced by a deep, bone-chilling cold. I heard them scrambling, whispering frantically behind me. Then the front door opened and closed. Liam was gone. A few moments later it opened and closed again. Isabella was gone. Silence descended on the house. My house. The house that now felt tainted, poisoned. I sank onto the sofa, the one Liam and I had picked out together. And then I finally broke. The tears came, hot and furious. Sobs racked my body, tearing through me with brutal force. I cried for the man I thought I knew, for the sister I had lost, for the baby growing inside me who would never know the family I had envisioned. I cried for my own stupidity, my blindness. How could I have missed this? Were there signs? Looking back, maybe Isabella's constant presence, her easy familiarity with Liam, the inside jokes they shared, were they hiding in plain sight? The late nights Liam supposedly worked, the times Isabella canceled plans with me last minute. My mind replayed countless moments, searching for clues I had ignored. After what felt like hours, the crying subsided, leaving me exhausted, empty, but filled with a cold, hard resolve. They thought they could destroy me. They thought they could break me and get away with it. Oh no, they underestimated me. They underestimated the strength of a woman betrayed, a mother protecting her child. Liam started calling and texting relentlessly almost immediately. Voicemails filled with desperate apologies, pathetic excuses, claims it was a mistake. It meant nothing. He loved me. He wanted our baby, our future. He said Isabella seduced him, that she was lonely and unstable, that he got caught up in a moment of weakness. As if that made it any better. Blaming her didn't absolve him. They were both complicit, both traitors. Isabella texted too. Long, rambling messages filled with self-pity and pleas for forgiveness. She claimed she never meant to hurt me, that she loved Liam too, that it just happened. She begged me not to tell our parents, not to ruin her life. Her life. What about my life? The life she and my fiancé had systematically dismantled with their lies. I didn't respond to any of them. I blocked Liam's number. I blocked Isabella's number. I needed space. I needed to think. And as I sat there, surrounded by the remnants of my shattered dreams, a plan began to form. A cold, calculated plan. They wanted to keep this a secret. They wanted to avoid consequences. They were worried about their reputations, about what people would think. Fine, let's talk about reputations. Let's talk about consequences. The engagement party, this Saturday, everyone would be there, our friends, our families. Liam's parents, my parents. Everyone who thought we were the perfect couple, eagerly awaiting our wedding. Everyone who adored Liam. Everyone who loved and trusted Isabella. They were expecting a celebration of our love. Instead, they were going to get the truth. The whole ugly, sordid truth. I spent the next day making quiet preparations. I unblocked Liam's number temporarily, not to talk, but to see his pathetic messages pile up. It fueled my anger. He sent a message saying he assumed the party was off, but he hoped we could talk before then. He actually asked if he should tell his parents the party was canceled. The audacity. I replied with a single, cold message. The party is still on, be there. We have things to discuss and announcements to make. He replied almost instantly, relieved, hopeful even. Okay, Sarah, okay, anything you want, we can fix this. I love you, fix this. There was nothing left to fix. But he didn't need to know that yet. Let him walk into the lion's den expecting reconciliation. Then I texted Isabella. I kept it simple. I know you want to talk. Be at the party venue an hour early on Saturday. Don't be late. She agreed immediately, probably thinking she had a chance to plead her case in private, maybe manipulate me into silence. Poor, foolish sister. The venue has a projector and screen we had booked for a photo slideshow, pictures of Liam and me through the years. Happy memories that now felt like ashes in my mouth. I had a new slideshow in mind. I spent hours gathering evidence. Not physical evidence of the act itself. I hadn't had the presence of mind to take pictures, thankfully perhaps, but evidence of their lies. Screenshots of texts Liam had sent me professing his undying love and excitement about the baby. Often sent on days I now suspected he was with Isabella. Screenshots of Isabella's overly enthusiastic texts about being the best auntie ever, about how perfect Liam was for me. Juxtaposing these saccharine messages with the cold, hard truth would be powerful. I also found photos. Photos of Liam and Isabella looking a little too close at family gatherings, laughing a little too intimately. Innocent enough on their own, perhaps, but in context, damning. I even found an old birthday card Isabella gave Liam last year, tucked away in his desk drawer. The message inside was weirdly intense, talking about their special bond and how much she cherished their private jokes and moments. At the time, I thought it was just sisterly affection for her future brother-in-law. Now, it screamed emotional affair at the very least. I put it all together into a short, brutal presentation, a timeline of betrayal. It felt clinical, detached, but it was the only way I could process it without falling apart again. This wasn't just about hurting them. It was about exposing the truth, reclaiming the narrative they had tried to steal from me. It was about protecting myself and my baby from their toxicity. It was about ensuring they couldn't just sweep this under the rug and continue playing happy families. My parents called, excited about the party. It was agony talking to them, pretending everything was fine. My mom asked if Isabella was helping me get ready. I had to bite back the bile rising in my throat and say yes, she was being wonderful. The lie felt disgusting, but revealing the truth had to be done on my terms in my time. Telling them beforehand would cause chaos, possibly derail my plan. They deserved to know, but not like this, not over the phone. They needed to see the truth for themselves, to see Liam and Isabella for who they really were. I know some people on Reddit might think this is too dramatic, that I should just walk away quietly. Maybe they'll call me the asshole for planning a public takedown, but they weren't there. They didn't see the look on their faces, feel the stab of betrayal from the two people closest to me. This isn't just about revenge, though I admit there's a certain grim satisfaction in knowing they won't get away scot-free. It's about justice. It's about drawing a line in the sand. It's about ensuring they can never manipulate or gaslight me, or anyone else in our circle, ever again. They built this lie together, they can face the fallout together. So here I am, it's Friday night. The party is tomorrow afternoon. Liam thinks we might be reconciling. Isabella thinks she's getting a private audience to beg for forgiveness. Our families and friends think they're coming to celebrate our engagement. My presentation is ready on a USB drive in my purse. My dress is laid out, the one Isabella helped me pick, ironically. I feel sick with nerves, but also strangely empowered. This is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but I know I have to see it through. For myself and for my baby. I guess I'm posting this to steel my nerves to get it all out before the storm breaks tomorrow. What would you do, Reddit? Am I going too far, or is this exactly what they deserve? I don't know if I'll be able to update right away afterwards. I imagine things will be chaotic, but I promise I will when I can. Wish me luck, or tell me I'm crazy. Right now I'm not even sure which is true. Update 1. Wow, Reddit, I honestly did not expect this post to get so much attention. Thank you all so much for the messages of support, the advice, the virtual hugs, and yes, even those of you who thought my plan was too much. I appreciate the different perspectives. Reading your comments throughout yesterday evening, and this morning actually helped solidify my resolve. Knowing I wasn't alone, that so many people understood the depth of this betrayal, gave me the strength I desperately needed. A lot of you confirmed what I felt in my gut. This wasn't just about revenge, it was about exposing the truth and protecting myself. So the party happened yesterday. And yes, I went through with it. It was intense. Probably the most emotionally draining and surreal day of my life. I arrived at the venue about 90 minutes before the official start time. As planned, Isabella was already there, pacing nervously near the entrance. She rushed towards me as soon as she saw me, her eyes red-rimmed and pleading. "Sarah, please, we need to talk before anyone gets here. Can we just sit down? Please don't do anything drastic. Think about the family, think about the baby." Hearing her mention my baby, the baby whose father she was sleeping with, sent a fresh wave of cold fury through me. I just looked at her, my face completely blank. I said, "There's nothing to talk about, Isabella. You made your choices. Now you get to live with them. You wanted to be here early. Fine, you can help set up. Make yourself useful for once." The look of shock and dawning horror on her face was, well, it was something. She clearly realized I wasn't there to negotiate or listen to her pathetic excuses. She just stood there, speechless, as I walked past her into the main room where the venue staff were making final touches. Liam arrived about 30 minutes later, looking hopeful, disgustingly hopeful. He was freshly showered, wearing a new shirt, carrying a small bouquet of flowers, my favorites, naturally. He tried to hug me. "Sarah, you look beautiful. I am so sorry, so incredibly sorry for everything. We can get through this, I know we can." I physically recoiled from his touch. "Don't touch me, Liam, just don't. Save whatever you have to say for later. Our guests will be arriving soon." He looked taken aback, maybe finally sensing that this wasn't going the way he'd envisioned, but he just nodded numbly and went to mingle awkwardly as the first guests started trickling in. He kept shooting me anxious glances across the room. Isabella hovered in a corner, looking like she wanted the ground to swallow her whole. Good. The party started. People were congratulating us, telling us how happy we looked, how excited they were for the wedding and the baby. My parents hugged me tightly, blissfully unaware of the bomb I was about to drop. Liam's parents were equally warm. It was torture plastering a fake smile on my face, accepting congratulations for a future that no longer existed. Every cheerful comment felt like a twist of the knife. Liam played his part too, the charming fiancé, laughing and shaking hands, though I could see the sweat beading on his forehead. Isabella mostly avoided eye contact, murmuring greetings to people she couldn't escape. About an hour in, when most guests had arrived and had drinks in hand, I went up to the small stage area where the microphone and projector were set up. Liam looked relieved, probably thinking I was about to give a gushing speech about our love. Isabella looked like she was going to faint. I tapped the microphone. It screeched slightly, grabbing everyone's attention. "Hi everyone," I began, my voice surprisingly steady. "Thank you all so much for coming to celebrate with us today. It means the world to Liam and me." People smiled, raising their glasses. Liam beamed, moving closer to the stage. I continued, "Liam and I were so excited to share our happiness with you, our engagement, the upcoming arrival of our baby." I paused, letting the happy anticipation hang in the air. My eyes scanned the room, meeting the eyes of my parents, his parents, our friends. Then my gaze landed on Liam, standing just below the stage, looking up at me with that hopeful, sickening expression. And then I looked at Isabella cowering near the back wall. But I went on, my voice hardening slightly. "It seems some announcements are in order. Things aren't quite as they seem." A confused murmur went through the crowd. Liam's smile faltered. I had asked a friend I trusted implicitly, who I had confided in earlier that day, to be ready near the projector. I gave her a subtle nod. She hit play. The first image that flashed up on the large screen behind me wasn't a happy engagement photo. It was a screenshot of a text from Liam, sent just last week, professing his undying love for me and our baby. Then the next slide, a screenshot of a text from Isabella, gushing about how thrilled she was to be an aunt and maid of honor, sent the very same day. Then came the photos I'd found, Liam and Isabella looking too close, hands lingering, intimate smiles exchanged when they thought no one was looking. The birthday card message flashed on screen. Gasps started rippling through the room. People were turning, looking at Liam, then at Isabella, confusion morphing into dawning comprehension. Liam's face had gone deathly pale. He started shaking his head, trying to mouth something at me. Stop, maybe. Isabella had buried her face in her hands, her shoulders shaking. And then, for the final slide, I simply put up text. Unfortunately, our joyous celebration has to be cancelled. Because I discovered my fiancé, Liam, sleeping with my maid of honor, my sister Isabella, in our bed earlier this week while I was pregnant with his child. The wedding is off. The engagement is off. Silence. Absolute deafening silence. You could have heard a pin drop. Everyone just stared at the screen, then at me, then at Liam, then at Isabella. My mother let out a strangled sob, covering her mouth. My father looked like he wanted to commit murder. Liam's parents looked utterly horrified and ashamed. Liam tried to rush the stage, probably to stop the presentation or plead his case, but my father and one of Liam's own friends physically blocked his path. He started shouting, "Sarah, no, it was a mistake, don't do this." Isabella let out a wail and bolted from the room, pushing past shocked guests. Good riddance. I looked directly at Liam, my voice ringing out in the silence. A mistake, Liam. Sleeping with my sister, repeatedly apparently. While I'm carrying your child. No, that's not a mistake, that's a choice. A disgusting, cowardly choice. And now everyone knows exactly who you both are. I turned back to the stunned crowd. I'm so sorry to have involved you all in this. Thank you for coming, but clearly the celebration is over. Please feel free to leave. As for me, I'm going home to start rebuilding my life without these two traitors in it. And with that, I calmly walked off the stage, past my shell-shocked parents, past Liam, who was now being held back and practically hyperventilating, and out of the venue. My trusted friend followed me, grabbing my arm supportively as soon as we were outside. I didn't look back. Update 2. Hello again, Reddit. It's been a few weeks since my last update, and things have been a whirlwind. First off, thank you again for the overwhelming support. Reading your comments during the initial fallout was like having 1,000 virtual friends holding my hand. Many of you shared your own stories of betrayal and resilience, and it helped me feel less alone in this mess. A lot of you applauded the way I handled the exposure, confirming it wasn't just petty revenge, but a necessary act of reclaiming my truth. The aftermath of the party was as chaotic as expected. My parents were, understandably, devastated and furious. My mom couldn't stop crying, alternating between comforting me and expressing utter disbelief and rage towards Isabella. My dad was quieter, but his anger was palpable. He immediately confronted Liam outside the venue after I left, though my friend hurried me away before I could witness the full extent of it. Apparently, it involved a lot of shouting, Liam trying desperately to justify himself, and my dad telling him in no uncertain terms to never come near me or our family again. Liam's parents were deeply apologetic to mine, expressing their shame and disgust at their son's behavior. Isabella essentially vanished. After fleeing the party, she apparently went straight to her apartment and refused to answer calls or texts from anyone, including our parents. My mom eventually went over there a couple of days later, and Isabella apparently broke down, confessed everything had been going on for almost a year, starting shortly after Liam and I got engaged. She spun some sob story about feeling lonely and overshadowed, and how Liam gave her attention, and it just spiraled. My mom listened, told her she was profoundly disappointed and heartbroken, and then left, saying she needed space and Isabella needed to figure out how to live with what she'd done. As far as I know, my parents haven't spoken to her since, beyond maybe a few curt, necessary logistical texts. Our relationship is completely fractured, maybe irreparably. I haven't spoken a single word to her since that morning at the venue, and I have no intention of doing so anytime soon, maybe ever. The sister I knew is gone. Liam faced immediate consequences. His parents, while supporting him as their son, made it clear they didn't condone his actions and were deeply disappointed. Socially, he became radioactive. News of what happened spread like wildfire through our interconnected circles of friends and even colleagues. Apparently someone at the party worked tangentially with him. People were disgusted. Friends dropped him. He got kicked out of the social club we were both members of. I heard through the grapevine that the fallout even impacted his work. Apparently, the lack of judgment and character didn't sit well with some of his clients or superiors in the finance world, where reputation is everything. He lost a significant amount of business, and his standing at his firm is precarious. Serves him right. He tried contacting me again through new numbers, emails, even mutual friends, begging for another chance, saying he'd do anything. I ignored it all and eventually had my lawyer send him a cease and desist letter regarding harassment. That finally shut him up. The legal stuff was next. Breaking off an engagement isn't legally complicated, but there were shared assets, mainly the house, which was in both our names. Thankfully, I had proof of contributing significantly more to the down payment and mortgage. Plus the whole, caught him cheating with my sister in our bed thing, didn't exactly help his case for an equal split. We settled relatively quickly through lawyers. He agreed to sign the house over to me completely in exchange for me not pursuing further damages or dragging things through court. I wanted him out of my life as cleanly and quickly as possible. He moved out within a week of the party. Getting the house cleared of his things, and especially scrubbing the bedroom clean, felt like an exorcism. It's my sanctuary now, mine and the baby's. Life lessons and moving forward, so where am I now? I'm still pregnant. Thankfully, the stress didn't affect the baby's health. I'm focusing on myself, my well-being, and preparing for motherhood as a single parent. It's daunting, absolutely terrifying some days, but also empowering. My parents have been my rocks, showering me with support, helping me get the nursery ready, just being there. My true friends rallied around me fiercely, reminding me of my worth and strength. The biggest lesson: trust your gut. Looking back, there were tiny red flags, moments of unease I dismissed because I wanted the fairy tale. Never again. Another lesson is that sometimes the most toxic people are the ones closest to you, hiding behind familiar smiles. Cutting them out, no matter how painful, is essential for your own survival and happiness. And finally, I learned I am much stronger than I ever thought possible. Facing betrayal head-on, exposing the truth, and choosing to rebuild instead of crumble, it showed me a resilience I didn't know I possessed. The revenge, if you can call it that, wasn't just the public exposure. It was me taking back control. It was Liam and Isabella facing the natural consequences of their actions: social ostracization, damaged reputations, broken family ties. They imploded their own lives through their deceit. My revenge was simply holding up a mirror to their ugliness and then walking away to build something better. My future doesn't look like the one I planned 5 months ago, but it's mine. It will be filled with love, the unconditional love of my child, the support of my true family and friends, and hopefully, one day, a healthy romantic love built on honesty and respect. For now, I'm healing, growing, and preparing to welcome my baby into a home free from lies and betrayal. And honestly, that feels like the best possible outcome. Thank you, Reddit, for listening and for your incredible support. It made a world of difference during the darkest time. Remember to trust yourselves, value honesty, and never let anyone dim your light. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.